And Jones will come away with it for the Pelicans. Jones just speeds into Bruce Brown, and Durant got hit on the knee. And Durant grabbing at his left knee and wincing. Still rubbing that left knee.
3 days later.
So I think the strategy here is play Kyrie when he's available. James Harden has to go nuts and get great contributions from your bench.
3 weeks later.
Is very weak at, and you have an opportunity to get some second chance looks.
It's definitely frustrating. It's definitely, difficult, but we got to find a way to get out of it as a group.
The following Thursday.
With Brian Windhorst saying the superstar is, quote, screaming in every way he possibly can, I don't want to be here. Get me out of here.
Moments later.
Brooklyn has traded James Harden, Paul Millsap to Philadelphia, Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond.
Later that same evening.
Okay, for the 5th pick and the reserves. I'm gonna have to go with Chris Middleton.
Hello, folks. That was quite an eventful Thursday, wasn't it? A lot of trades happening, and obviously the one that's being talked about the most is the one I'll be covering today, because it was a trade that I didn't think was gonna happen. If you've watched my channel for a couple of weeks now, you would know that my takes aged poorly, okay? I thought Ben Simmons was never going to go to the Brooklyn Nets. But look, things happened, and I was wrong. And by the way, if you're holding your breath waiting for me to give Brian Windhorst his flowers, I'm going to have to give you your condolences, okay? It's very sad to see you go, but it is what it is. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, I guess. Now, in terms of this trade happening, I did do a lot of thinking.
Of the Milwaukee Bucks, number 2 in the East. Chuckster, what are you laughing about right now?
I can't say what I'm laughing.
Yes, you can.
And I was also laughing a little too, because, I like to do a little trolling. And in this case, I just want to go over the saga of James Harden and his career so far over the last year or two. Because this isn't new, right? This is something that I should have seen coming based on what we've seen from him last season.
Which is not good enough. I mean, this situation is crazy. It's something that I don't think can be fixed. So,
Skip, James Harden's not even trying. He's not even pretending that he's playing hard. First of all, the way he showed up late to camp, and then he showed up out of shape.
The only one of those 3 guys who has proven to me he's not selfish and not a mean guy is KD. KD went to Golden State, and he sacrificed. James Harden and Kyrie Irving have never shown me, no, I just want to win. That's the most important thing.
And now he's just milling around. Yep. Hey, you take it, John Wall. Hey, I'll pass it to you. I'm just going to be standing over here. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to make it so uncomfortable for everybody that you're going to have no choice.
And that choice was made last season. And this season, the same thing happened. And I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier, but when you look back at James Harden's game against the Kings where he only scored 4 points, I mean, that game was just embarrassing. There was a lot in that game that made you see that James Harden was not completely in it. He was quitting on his team once again, like he did in Houston. Now, I see many people excusing Harden's behavior like they did when he was in Houston by saying that, well, when he came to Brooklyn, it was on the basis that he was going to play with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And now that Kyrie Irving is playing half the games and Kevin Durant's injured, well, there's no reason for him to stick by. And if you don't see a problem with this mentality, and if you keep giving guys like Harden a pass when they do things like this, don't be upset when people have their fun with you.
Oh, this going to be cool right here. Go ahead. It's you, KD.
I'm going to go with the first timer again, LaMelo Ball.
Like, literally, we are going through the same cycle again with James Harden. And it's laughable that people keep excusing this man's behavior.
When you get 2 great players together, one guy gonna have to take a back seat. To me, it's gonna have to be James.
And now he's in the same predicament where he's going to have to sacrifice a bit of his game because he's not the best player once again in a team that has a dominant big. Look, this is something that Harden needs to adjust to, and he hasn't adjusted to that in Brooklyn. Now you think he's gonna do it in Philly? Well, I don't know about you folks, but KD sure looks like he disagrees.
I'm excited. I think everybody got what they wanted.
And it's really funny that the main players involved in this trade both have deficiencies mentally. And There's something that has to be said about that. And I will go more into detail about what I mean by this. But Harden, there's a different case where he also seems to be aging at a rate in which many people didn't expect. We've seen the numbers. He can put up 30 points, over 10 assists a game pretty regularly. But a lot of people have noticed that he's been more sluggish, he's been more slow, he's re-aggravated the injuries that he's had in past seasons, and he looks weaker. He really does.
Come on, LeBron. Just make him sweat it out. Just make him sweat it out. Take anybody else.
Per request of the Chuckster, I'm going with Fred VanVleet.
There you go. There you go.
Yes, folks, the same hamstring that he injured during the series against the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, that hamstring is not looking to be healthy at this moment. From what we're hearing, Harden is still struggling with that hamstring. Now, we don't know how bad it is. We don't know how severe it is. He may come back sooner than we expect, but it's still something that people are paying attention to.
James Harden looks like he's age 32 going on 42. He's in year 13, and it looks like he's in year 23.
Right.
Did James Harden all of a sudden, is he going to take off some kind of bodysuit and be thinner today?
Well, he did it last year.
Hold on, wait a minute. I'm just, these are rhetorical questions, RJ. Stay with me, okay?
James Harden does not take care of himself the way LeBron does and Kevin Durant does.
No.
James Harden is a train wreck waiting to happen because it's one thing after another.
Is he going to lose weight? Is he going to get younger? Is the hamstring injury suddenly going to disappear? What I'm saying to you is this. We're watching what we've been watching over the last couple of years. As great as we know he is, he hasn't been himself, meaning the guy that Daryl Morey was overseeing in Houston.
I even hark back to the Milwaukee series last year when it's Kevin or bust, basically,
Right.
because James is playing on one leg.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes, yes.
It's always something wrong.
And I guess this story wouldn't be as big of a story if that was the only thing that could be talked about here. There's more to this than just, oh, he's going through injuries, he's aging, he's getting older. A lot of players are, okay? Especially the top players of the upper echelons in the league, because they've been going through it the most. They have the wear and tear. They've been battling some of the best defenders in the league. So it's no surprise that Harden is aging. But what really is a surprise is the mental side that I alluded to earlier. Harden, much like Simmons, has a tendency to quit on his team when things are tough.
Oh, he needs size.
Yeah. I'm gonna need some size for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need some size and some defense in the interior.
This is perhaps the biggest reason why this trade leaves such a bad taste in my mouth. It's unsettling how much these players are enabled, not just by the media, but by the fans that shower them with praise, even though they should be held accountable for the actions they've taken. Now, I'm no arbiter of justice, but if there's a time where a player like Harden needs to be held accountable, it's now.
James Harden, when he decided, along with Kevin Durant, to push for the trade out of Houston, come to Brooklyn just a little over a year ago, I think he thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was.
He's doing this, I think. Maybe he's really hurt. But I think he's doing this to force his way to Philly by Thursday at 3 p.m.
And you talk to people, one theme through James Harden's career was that when things got bad, he very seldom pointed the finger at himself and started really pointing it at everyone else.
Just for the record, let me get this straight. He quit on the Rockets. He quit on the Nets. He didn't want to play with John Wall. Now he doesn't want to play with Kyrie and doesn't want to play with Kevin Durant. He didn't want to play with Russ in Houston, and he couldn't play with Chris Paul, the consummate leader.
And in this case, wanted to jump again, and now he goes to Philadelphia, where he teams with Joel Embiid, and you've seen a career with James Harden where he has readily changed up his co-stars, either moving them out or, in this case, moving himself around, and now it's he and Embiid.
I know it's weird for me to go at the media for creating narratives and talking about players a certain way, and then harping on those said narratives that are created to disparage players and make them look bad. And I agree with you, it does look weird. It does make me look very suspect. But the reason why I go at the media is not because of the narratives themselves. It's because they sometimes create narratives out of thin air. There's nothing, no basis, no substance from them. And today, I hope I showed you with enough evidence, with enough clips dating back to last season, that this is a recurring theme with Harden. This video was not made just to shit on Harden. It was not made to make Harden look like such an evil beast. No. Look, I've done that before, and I've realized now that the reason why I'm on this platform is not to shit on anybody. Is to engage with a community that, like me, loves basketball and loves to have conversations about it. Hot takes or not, it's something that I really want to push forward on this channel. And I think I did this today with this video. I mean, I could have titled this James Harden is falling from grace, and I just think that was too toxic. So if you like this video, consider subscribing. It would help me a lot. Now don't worry, folks, because if you like a little trolling, we've also got some of that too.
James, he hasn't played.
He's
like,
missed.
what happens if he doesn't?
Oh, he got traded. He's healthy now.
He's missed the last 3 with a hammy.